Hey, Louie, what's going on?
What's going on with you, love?
Look at me!
Look at me.
I'm on the, sort of like, well, not at the beach, but I'm at Coronado Island looking over at Gaslamp Quarter over here in San Diego on my vacation. San Diego!
That's so awesome. I see water that, we don't really have right immediately available here in Las Vegas.
So you look like you have animal-loving panties on your face,
Yeah,
but
man.
it's your safety
great.
mask.
Yeah.
So for pandemic provisions, we're not talking about food today. We're talking about masks. And obvi reasons, but apparently not obvi to everybody. It's super important to wear a mask right now, for the safety of others especially. I think the worst excuse that there is like, it's uncomfortable, or how about this? I'm not afraid of getting it. That's not really the issue.
Yeah.
It's not about you. It's about the other people that you're protecting by wearing a mask. And Louie, like, we've gotten we talk to so many chefs, and we do every day, both you and I.
Yep.
And, it's really awful for them having to enforce this all the time. It's not their rule. It's not their law. But they're trying to enforce it, and they just want you to enjoy your food. They want you to have a good time, but they want you to do it safely.
And they don't want you to take home an unwanted souvenir. That's what it is.
The Rona?
Yeah, the Rona. Free Rona with your food, right?
So Louie, we just want to enjoy food with our friends. We want to keep being able to go out to restaurants, take out and delivery, but also dine in if possible, if we can do it safely. And I feel like we can. But, we've heard from so many of our friends that are just getting so much heat from people totally unnecessarily.
These are provided anyway by
Yes.
like some certain establishments. I mean, if you forgot yours at home, just ask your friendly server for a mask. I'm sure that they would be gracious enough to give you one.
Yeah. And don't be ridiculous. Like, obviously, you don't have to wear it while you're actually physically eating or taking a drink. We see those people with the holes in their masks so they can, like, have a straw. You don't have to do that. It's literally, you have to look at the place, and you got to look at the city that you're in because it's different laws in each place. But they're mostly reasonable. Wear them when you walk in the door, keep a safe distance, 6 feet away, social distancing. And then when you get to the table, you can take it off. Now, when you go to the bathroom and you move around the restaurant, then put it back on. It's super simple. So, Louie, with that, we're going to move on to one of the most important chefs right now in our time, Miss Tanya Holland of Brown Sugar Kitchen, right now. Well, we are so honored today to be vibing with Miss Chef Tanya Holland out of Brown Sugar Kitchen in Oakland. We are so excited. Whose smile could light up any room. We love that smile.
Oh, you're so sweet.
How are you?
I'm doing well. Considering everything that's going on, I'm still healthy. Trying to stay that way, and just trying to pivot and figure out what's next for business. That's all we can do.
Yeah, of course. We're going to just jump right into this. We've both been in an emotional roller coaster the past few months. We have been very inspired by a lot of people. And of course, a few people have disappointed us over the last couple of months.
Yeah.
What are your biggest takeaways with recent things happening? Black Lives Matter, the pandemic, all this stuff that kind of came and piled on all of us. What are your big takeaways?
Yeah, I feel like, those of us who've had challenges and adversity in our lives, I think it's easier to just accept this as another hurdle to, jump over. That's how I feel. It's like, I know that this too shall pass. Like, nothing is really forever. even like the success or the good times that you have in your career. It's like, you know, everything, it just peaks and flows. So I just am accepting it, and COVID has I've been working harder than ever, but I have less people around me. So that's been kind of nice to have a simpler engagement in the world. You know, I'm not doing events like I would have been doing. I don't have customers. I have fewer employees. I would love to be open and in a thriving business, but it's given me a chance to really kind of reset and reevaluate the way I want my business to move forward, and, you know, what my priorities are. You know, I'm turning 55 next week, and it's just like, it's a year and a time to really reflect and think about, you know, what's the remainder of my life going to look like, you know, not to be morbid or anything. It's not happening anytime soon, but, you know, you think about these things when you reach a certain, just an age that, you know, it's like a mark in your life.
Right. I don't think it's like ever like really early enough to think about the legacy that you're going to leave behind.
Right. Yeah. Exactly.
So there's obviously, you know, some negativity out there, but what are you feeling good about from the Black Lives Matter movement, and just things that you've noticed that maybe have inspired you?
Yeah, I just been feeling really good and really hopeful about the new conversations, and that people are listening. And, you know, a lot of the stuff that I've been talking about for decades, people are finally chiming in like, oh yeah, you know, this happens. And I'm like, yeah, I've been telling you guys, you know, right, for a while. So, you know, that it's kind of frustrating, but at the same time, it's like, okay, finally, it's, you know, it's giving me some hope that there is change afoot. And I think the average diner and, you know, cook at home is appreciating our industry and what we contribute to this world in terms of economy, as well as opportunity and also entertainment for people. You know, this is the space, we create the spaces they love to be in. And we need certain support to do that. And I think people are, you know, other businesses that depend on us more than they thought they did are starting to understand that.
So Louie and I are now 1 degree of separation away from the great Leah Chase because of you.
Oh, wonderful. Yeah.
Of Dookie Chase and NOLA.
Yeah. So sorry that I didn't get to see her towards the end of her life. But I had the pleasure of meeting her early in my career, and she just shared some incredible wisdom with me, words that I still, you know, resonate in my mind.
Did you at all think about her? Because, you know, the 1960s civil rights movement, and it's crazy that we have to say 1960s now, but the 1960s civil rights movement, she was such an integral part of the meetings and the gatherings of really important civil rights leaders like Martin Luther King.
Yeah.
Did you think about her at all, or the conversation that you got to have with her during months?
That didn't come up in the conversation I had with her. It was all very career focused. But I often think of her just because, you know, she was just one of the few, you know, Black women that I'd ever seen, you know, running a business and that had longevity. And she just, you know, was so committed, but she was also committed to mentoring and to sharing her knowledge and experience. But it's interesting, like, I mean, I don't know if she felt that way, but at that era, almost everybody was an activist, but I feel like an accidental activist. Like, it just never occurred to me, or wasn't on my agenda to, you know, I mean, I've definitely hosted a lot of notable politicians, but also to get involved with local government policy and advocacy through No Kid Hungry work.
We have to ask you about the food, because Louie and I are huge fans of soul food. And you call your food modern soul food. So what does that mean to you, modern soul food?
Well, I feel like other people call it that more than I do.
Okay.
Modern to me sounds like it's molecular gastronomy. I would say contemporary is a better word, meaning it's soul food of today, meaning it's more sustainable, local, and organic, which is actually how it was probably originally sourced, you know, because of just the nature of the limited resources. But I think that, you know, like a lot of cuisines, especially ethnic cuisines, they got a little bastardized, you know, during interpretation in the 70s and 80s, you know, and even 90s, and then just started to turn around in the 2000s, where everybody got back to, let's actually taste the food, you know, the origin of the food, and cook with care, and also provide an environment to eat it in that, you know, reflects that. So yeah, that's how I see it. You know, I don't consider myself a culinary innovator. You know, maybe when I was younger, I had aspirations, but, you know, now I'm just trying to sustain a business that feeds my community and others who travel here, and create, to provide hospitality. That's really my number one, you know, goal.
That is important, but you are underselling yourself, because you have innovated. You've created a space, you know, in a place where, you know, I grew up in the East Bay. So it means so much to be able to create that space where people feel safe and where people have something that's their own, you know?
Yeah.
You did that.
Oh,
You're part
thank
of that.
you. Thank you. Yeah, I love it here.
Yeah. Speaking of that, you said here. Why do you feel at home in Oakland?
Primarily because the population is so diverse, and diversity is really valued here. And, you know, on any given day in my restaurant, whether it's my staff or my clientele, I can look around and see so many different kind of faces. And have always been interested in different cultures and interacting with people from different backgrounds, and, you know, have studied languages. And I just think it's important to enrich life. And, you know, I grew up in, you know, even still a world that, like, you know, there's pockets of segregated populations, you know, Black people here, white people there, Asian people there, Latino people there, you know, other immigrants, you know, and I just didn't want that for my world. So when I came to Oakland and saw that was a value, I just felt right at home.
Yeah, you're absolutely right about the diversity there.
Yeah.
Speaking of Oakland, you got your own day on June 5th, 2012.
Yeah.
How amazing is that? How many chefs can actually say they have their own day?
It's amazing. I mean, I can't believe it. I couldn't believe it when it was happening. It's kind of surreal.
So what happens on Tanya Holland Day?
Yeah.
Not much now, but I have a couple friends who celebrate with me. It's funny, the mayor who granted me that day came in for some takeout a couple of weeks ago, Mayor Kwan. Yeah, I mean, I remember like reading, I don't know if you guys ever heard of Bricktop Smith, but you should Google her. She had restaurants, well, I think she had a club in Paris. She was a cabaret performer in the 40s. African-American woman who went over to Paris to live. And then she ended up in Boston. She was in New York for a bit, and she had a very integrated restaurant. And I remember reading her biography, and she had her own day in Boston. I was like, wow, she had her own day. And, you know, I'd heard about some other, but it just never occurred to me that would happen to me. So it was pretty cool.
Do you still wake up every year and go, dang, it's my day today?
Alert.
No. Like I said, I have a couple friends that remind me. Yeah. And then, you know, for social media purposes, we milk it.
So, is it like a second birthday or something like that?
Yeah, you know, I think it is. I think it is now. Yeah, it is.
Yeah.
So amazing.
Yeah, well, we're speaking about career highlights right now, and
that was one.
We got to give you 3 here, and you got to make a choice.
There's 3 more.
Okay.
That's how amazing your career is.
There are a million, obviously, but so for us, these are big to us, especially because we're totally in love with Anthony Bourdain and everything that he stands for as a cultural ambassador. So meeting Anthony Bourdain, competing on Top Chef, or, and this one is crazy to me, being a clue on Jeopardy. You may pick one.
That was it. That was the one. Clue on Jeopardy. So I met Anthony before he was really, really huge. You know, I met him in 2001, I think it was, or 2002 at the James Beard Awards. And, you know, people knew him, but he was like not what he became. And Top Chef is like, I mean, they have been asking me to do that for years. I kept saying no. And it was just sort of like an opportunity to get a little PR, but it wasn't like, oh my God, this is my dream. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
But again, the Clue on Jeopardy, that was another surreal moment. And a customer posted it. And I was like, wait, what?
Oh.
Nobody told me. Nobody asked me.
Wow.
I had no idea. And
What?
then
There's no compensation for being Clue on Jeopardy?
Nope. No. None at all. None at all.
Right.
But
That's
another
crazy.
cool, can I tell you some more that were really as exciting?
Please.
Being in the exhibit, the food and culture exhibit at the National African American Museum at the Smithsonian, that was pretty cool.
That's
Wow.
amazing.
And then also, in 2010, I was inducted into the local chapter of Les Dames de Escoffier, and that's something I had aspired to for a while. So that was pretty cool.
You've been around so many amazing chefs over the years, and still now. I mean, I saw you, of course, in Dominique Crenn. You took over her Instagram page, who's one of Louie's favorite of all time chefs.
I just read her biography. Read her biography.
Is it
really
good?
Super fresh.
I
really
haven't
good.
read it yet. Yeah.
Really super good.
So what's kind of your highlight when it comes to that? Like, who's your most inspiring chef?
Well, definitely, meeting Julia Child in France was pretty amazing.
Yes.
And primarily because she was so gracious. And that is big for me. I don't care how much talent you have or how much I like your food, but if you can't be gracious, then it's not of interest, Other than that, I mean, I feel like, there's a lot of, I've been at it for so long. A lot of, the celebrities are my colleagues. So I don't feel that way about them, even though they might have more celebrity than I do. But it's like, I was coming up at the same time as you,
Yeah.
So yeah, I mean, she's the biggest one. When I was younger, obviously I met other people that were coming up. I mean, meeting Emerald was great. Again, he was very, very gracious. Leah Chase, also very gracious. So those were huge.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah.
So we did just talk about this right before we came on. You are jumping into the podcast world with us.
Yeah.
So tell us a little bit about Tanya's Table podcast.
Yeah. So,
and why you wanted to do it, because you already got a lot of stuff going on.
I know, it's interesting. Like, I thought about it because people have been suggesting that I do radio for a long time. And I thought about it, but I wasn't pursuing it. It's the same thing that happened with me with the Food Network show. I thought, gee, that would be cool. But, I wasn't pursuing it. And then an opportunity popped up. And so my friend was working for this production company and suggested that they talk to me. I've always loved conversation about food and culture and connecting with people and finding that common denominator and, showing that we have more in common than differences. And talking to people of all different backgrounds, so not just chefs, not just food people. And, I've had a lot of exposure to people, celebrities, since opening the restaurant and other notables. And so that's what I'm doing. I'm just, it's more of a conversation. I asked them some questions, but I like to see where it will go, and we'll just riff and have a good time.
Can you tell us some of the people coming up?
I've already spoken with Samin Nosrat.
Ooh,
and,
salt that acid heat.
Jesse Tyler Ferguson, actor, and Alice Waters.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Another Bay Area person.
Guapole, who's another Bay Area R&B singer. And yesterday I spoke with Questlove. And that was
yeah. I love Questlove.
His audiobook is amazing.
Yeah, I gotta listen. Which one? What's the title?
I think it was Creative Quest. Yeah.
Oh, I did see the I saw that online. I'll have to listen to it. Okay.
It's amazing.
He's so interesting.
Multi-talented.
Yeah,
very
so talented.
So it's part kind of like performance art, part audiobook. So
yeah.
good. Yeah.
Nice.
Wow. Okay, so Tanya, we're gonna move on to our segment, Chef Show and Tell.
Woohoo!
My
And I know
tool.
we caught you a little off guard, but that's okay because you're a chef. You can do things on the fly. So tell us about what you got and what it does. You know, also for the layperson, you know, like what's going on? Why do you need it? Why do you like it?
Well, this is a biscuit cutter, and you can get them, like you can get those cutter kits that have all different sizes, but this one's really nice with a handle. Just makes it easier. Take it, turn it, and pull out the biscuit. And I mean, we sell hundreds of biscuits a week, and they're all made by hand. They're all cut by hand.
Wow.
And we sell buttermilk biscuits as well as our bacon cheddar scallion biscuits. And so, you know, we keep this in a really safe place because we can't change the size of the biscuit, don't want to lose a biscuit cutter. And yeah, it just makes life easier. I should have somebody make me some little biscuit cutter earrings.
Actually, it looks great. It's
smaller than these. But
smaller scale.
That's a cool idea, right?
That's the next big thing. Chef jewelry.
I have my wishbone on. Which has diamonds, and I say, like, if you sell enough chicken, eventually you find a diamond wishbone.
What's the story behind your wishbone, Tanya?
Well, you know, I got it to commemorate being inducted into Les Dames d'Escoffier. So I just wanted to get, like, I had been looking for a new piece of jewelry for myself. I wanted a necklace that, you know, a nice piece of jewelry. I bought it myself. You know, I'm a grown woman. And yeah, like 10 years ago.
I love that. I'm a grown woman. I got it on my own.
No, that's a novel idea, jewelry, because like most chefs would commemorate their milestones with tattoos.
Right. Yeah. Well, so I had to buy a piece of jewelry that would not interfere with cooking. Right. So not really things a bracelet. But guess what? I got my first tattoos this year.
Oh.
I know, and I didn't post them. I was going to, and then it's like time went by. I got them in March, like just before COVID. I had been thinking about it for a while, and I had a friend who was in town who said, I want to get a tattoo. I'm visiting California. I was like, you know, I have a neighbor who does that. Let's go see her. So I got on my forearms, on this one tattooed in sort of a cursive writing, Grace, and on this side, Ease. So that's just how I want to live my life moving forward, with grace and ease.
That is bold of you to do that in your 50s, because like I'm in my 40s and I'm like, oh, it's too late. It's too late.
Yeah,
it's never too late.
It's never too late.
Were you nervous about your first session?
A little bit, but you know, I get acupuncture a lot, and I've been getting allergy shots since I was 5 years old. So needles don't bother me, but I don't like the noise of the machine.
Like gotcha.
I'm like,
it's like a tooth thing.
Yeah, I'm like, I got my first, my second, and my last. I'm done.
Louie, let's move on to On the Fly.
On the Fly.
60 seconds rapid fire questions with Chef Tanya Holland of Brown Sugar Kitchen. Louie, you got your timer ready?
Best way to eat Nutella.
Don't tell him I said this, but with a spoon.
My favorite way too.
Quarantine comfort food.
Lasagna.
Cat or dog person?
Neither.
Oh, so what's your spirit animal then?
A dolphin.
Dream place to travel and eat?
I don't know, probably somewhere in Italy.
Childhood food craving?
Strawberry banana ice cream.
Best self-care move?
Oh God, spas.
Most inspiring kitchen music?
We mixed it up, but I gotta say, I just love my girl Jill Scott, and she throws in some lyrics here and there with some cornbread and some collard greens. I'm like, I know where she is. I know where she is.
Awesome.
Of course, you picked the one with soul food in it.
Yeah, exactly.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Well, the last thing we're going to ask you to do, Miss Tanya Holland, is to sell it, and you can sell it for whatever you want. You could sell it for Brown Sugar Kitchen. You could sell it for the cookbook. You could sell it for the world. Whatever you like. This is your time, my dear.
Well, you know, I mean, there's a lot. I hope everybody takes the time to listen to my podcast. I hope I'm as good as you guys.
You're
you
gonna be
know,
awesome.
whenever you're trying something new, you never know. And I just want, you know, people to get back into restaurants safely when we can and come visit me at Brown Sugar Kitchen in Oakland.
I will.
We will. Yes.
Yay.
We're
Thank
both from the
you.
Bay Area.
I'll drag her.
All right.
Yeah.
We do need to visit our roots because we're both from the Bay Area.
Mhm.
Perfect.
Yeah.
Let me know.
Yes.
Yes,
We are going
yes,
to. We're going
yes.
to come down and visit you. And of course, please go listen to Tanya's Table podcast. Of course, it's going to be awesome. I know you're going to be great. We're going to send you so many good vibes your way.
Thank you. Sending them right back to you.
Tanya, thank you so much. This is a dream for us.
My pleasure. All right. Take
Same
care.
for us.
Bye. Bye.
Thank you.